Good morning, all of you. I welcome you once again, all the first year BPC students, to this Model School YouTube webinar classes. In the previous classes, we discussed about various topics of the first year. Earlier, we discussed about the Unit 1, Diversity in the Living World. As part of that, we discussed about the living world, biological classification, science of plants, and the plant kingdom. Later, we had structural organization in plants, morphology. In that, we are having only one chapter, that is morphology of flowering plants. In that morphology of flowering plants, actually we discussed only about inflorescence. Every year we used to discuss about the stem modifications, root modifications, leaf modifications, etc. But because of this corona pandemic, the syllabus is reduced by 30%, and they included only two aspects in this particular chapter. One is inflorescence and other one is the flower. Srimati A.RENUKA Reddy, PGT Botany from TSMS Kondapaka, earlier discussed about this inflorescence. Today, Madam is going to take us through the flower. We all see the flowers, but we see only the external characters of the flower. We don't know the difference between the different parts associated with the flower. Flower contains some vegetative parts as well as some reproductive parts. Today, Madam will discuss about different components of the flower, and she will explain about each and every component of the flower and their role in the progress of the plant life cycle. Now I request A.RENUKA Reddy Garu, TSMS Kondapaka, to deliver our lecture on the flower.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Renuka Reddy, PGT Botany, TSMS Kondapak. First of all, I would like to thank TS Model School's webinar team, Additional Director Sir, JD Sir, for giving me this opportunity. My special thanks to Dr. Venugopal Reddy Sir, Principal TSMS Venavanka, and my heartful thanks to our Principal Madam, Dr. Vanessa Madam, for her guidance and support. In the last class, we have discussed about inflorescence. We have discussed that inflorescence is the modified shoot which bears flower, and the flower is modified for reproduction. Let us discuss about flower. Flower is
Slide show దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళండి మేడం, పైన ఉంది.
yeah. Okay. So flower is modified for sexual reproduction. It is a condensed shoot. Actually, the branch which bears flowers is called as inflorescence, and this inflorescence, the flowers get attached to this branch, the axis of the inflorescence, that is a peduncle, in a definite fashion. We have discussed about how the racemose inflorescence are arranged, how cymose inflorescence are arranged, and let us learn about how the different parts of the flower and their performance, how each part of the flower is getting arranged itself, and how is it going to perform, and what are the different types of flowers based on the type of arrangement of these floral organs. These are called as floral leaves. So flower is a modified and condensed shoot which is meant for reproduction, sexual reproduction. Flower is meant for sexual reproduction. And every organism tries to undergo sexual reproduction in order to maintain the viability, because though there are other means of reproduction in plants, especially they may also undergo vegetative reproduction, each plant will also undergo sexual reproduction. So flower is the main organ which is involved in sexual reproduction. So the different parts of the flower are arranged on the base of this special structure on the flower. The base is called as thalamus or receptacle. On this receptacle, different parts get arranged. The floral leaves are arranged. The different parts of the flower are called as floral leaves. And the floral leaves are arranged on this in concentric circles, which are called as whorls. Different floral leaves. So different parts of the flower are called as floral leaves, and they are arranged in concentric circles, that is one inside the other, which is called as whorl. They are arranged in 4 different whorls. 4 different whorls means not definitely 4 circles, but 4 in number means 4. There are 4 different parts. Okay, out of this, the outermost part, that is outermost whorl, consists of calyx. Calyx consists of sepals. These sepals may be arranged in 1, 2, or more than one whorl also, but together we call it as calyx, and it forms the outermost whorl. It consists of calyx, uh, which are called as sepals, and the collective term used for sepals is calyx. This calyx helps in protecting the flower in bud condition. Next to calyx, towards inside, is the beautiful different colored flowers with different fragrance. All these consist of corolla. Corolla makes up the third whorl, which is which consists of petals. The petals, the brightly colored petals, all come under corolla. Next to corolla, towards inside, is androecium. Androecium forms the male reproductive part of the flower. The androecium consists of different units in it. These are called as stamens. All called as androecium, that is the male reproductive part of the flower. And towards the innermost whorl of flower consists of the innermost part of the flower is gynoecium, which is the female reproductive part of the flower. The gynoecium consists of different units called carpels, or also called as pistil. It is also called as pistil or carpel. You can see the outermost whorl of the calyx. These are sepals. Next to it is corolla, that is petals. Then inside that is androecium, which consists of stamens. Each one is one stamen, which forms the male reproductive structure. And the center of the flower consists of the carpel or the pistil, which is the female reproductive part of the flower. And all these are arranged on the swollen base of the flower. This swollen base is called the thalamus or the receptacle. And we can see the different parts are getting attached to this part. This is the pedicel part of the flower. This is the pedicel. That is the pedicel. With this pedicel, flower get attached to the peduncle. Peduncle is the axis of the inflorescence. And there are flowers which will have pedicel, and there are some flowers which do not have pedicel. If flowers have pedicel, the flowers are called as pedicellate flowers, and if flowers do not have pedicel, they are called as sessile flowers. And flowers are borne on the axils of the modified leaves called as bracts. If the bracts are present in the flower is said to be bracteate flower. That is, sometimes these bracts fall off during the development of the flower. So, bracts will not be seen attached to the flower. These are called as ebracteate flowers. If the bracts are present in a flower, the flower is said to be bracteate. And if flower has pedicel, they are called as pedicellate flowers. If flower is directly attached to the inflorescence axis, that is the peduncle, the flowers are called as sessile flowers. Okay. Then in this, actually, we have discussed there are 4 whorls. The outermost whorl is next to it is corolla, then it is androecium, then gynoecium. The calyx and corolla are called as non-essential organs. Why are they called non-essential? Because the main purpose of flower is sexual reproduction, and calyx and corolla are not directly involved in sexual reproduction, but they help in the process of sexual reproduction. So, calyx and corolla are called as non-essential organs, whereas androecium and gynoecium are called as essential organs, because androecium contribute to the male the cells, the male gametes, and the gynoecium contribute gametes. They are the actual structures which are involved in sexual reproduction. They are said to be essential organs, and calyx and corolla support non-essential organs. And in some, we will not see between calyx and corolla. And if we see calyx is different from corolla, that is, usually calyx is green in color, The sepals are green in color and the petals are colorful. They are of different colors. You all know very well. We usually identify flowers with the structure, shape, and color of the petals itself. So we call them calyx and corolla. In any case, if they are not different from each other, if they are not distinct, they are called as perianther. Actually, calyx and corolla together is called perianther. But if they are not different completely, we call them perianther. We give a common name perianther, and we call each individual part of it as tepals. We call the individual units of calyx as sepals, individual units of corolla as petals, and if they are not distinct, they are called as tepals. The different lobes of units of perianth are called as tepals. And that's what flowers develop in the axils of special leaves. These are called as bracts. Flowers possessing bracts are called bracteate flowers. If there are no bracts, if they are absent, these flowers are said to be ebracteate. We describe flower as ebracteate, which will not, bracts are not seen in such flowers. And we see different types of flowers. Flowers are divided into different types based on many categories. So we see different types of flowers based on sexuality. We see different types of flowers based on their mode of arrangement. We see different types of flowers with respect to gynoecium. So let us see different types of flowers based on the sexuality, that is presence or absence, or presence and absence of different sexual organs. So based on sexuality, flowers are of two different types. They are bisexual flowers and unisexual flowers. In a typical flower, first before the class, we start with the description of a typical flower, that is flower in general. That is a bisexual. It consists of four words, that is calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. That is androecium and gynoecium. Androecium and gynoecium. That means it has both reproductive structures, male and female reproductive structures. Such flowers are called as bisexual. Such flowers are called as bisexual flowers. That is flowers which bear both androecium and gynoecium. And if flower has either androecium alone or gynoecium alone, they are called as unisexual flowers. Okay, flowers have either androecium or gynoecium only, not both. If they have both, they are bisexual. By two sexes they have in them. They are bisexual. And if they have only one, unisexual. So if they have only one, and that is male, that is androecium. Such flower, because it has only androecium, that is a male flower. It has no gynoecium, male flower, or staminate flower. That because the units of androecium are called as stamens, and flower possess only stamens. We call them as staminate flowers or male flowers, unisexual, male, or staminate flowers. And if they don't have androecium, and if flowers have only gynoecium, they are unisexual and female flowers, because they have only gynoecium, no androecium present in them. Such a flower is called as unisexual and female flower, or female. Again, the different units are called as pistil, or it is called as a pistil or a carpel. The flower is called as pistillate flowers. The flowers are called pistillate flowers. So two types based on sexuality. They are bisexual flowers and unisexual flowers. If flower has both androecium and gynoecium, they are bisexual. If they have either androecium or gynoecium alone, they are unisexual flowers. Unisexual staminate male flowers, unisexual pistillate female flowers. And based on the mode of division, that is how they show symmetry. Symmetry means similarity. If we divide into two, if we are able to divide a flower into two, it is said to be symmetric. Okay, two means two equal halves. If we are able to divide into two equal halves, a flower into two equal halves, it is said to be symmetric. Okay, that is called symmetry. Two identical halves. So, based on the symmetry, there are three types of flowers. They are actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and asymmetric flowers. If a flower can be, you can see this picture. In this picture, a flower can be divided into two halves along any vertical section passing through the center. Yeah, provided that passing through the center, definitely. Okay, if this can be divided into two vertical halves along any plane, this plane, this plane, this plane, any plane passing through the center, such a flower is called as actinomorphic flower. This flower can be divided into two halves along any plane passing through the center. Examples are hibiscus and datura. And if a flower can be divided, in this case, you see, this can be divided into two halves along only one plane, along only one vertical plane passing through the center. We cannot divide it into two halves like this, or two halves like this, or two halves like this, two equal halves. So, if a flower can be divided into two equal halves along any one vertical plane passing to the center, such a flower is called as zygomorphic flower. Examples are pea, beans, and cassia. We can see the flowers are, we'll see the flowers will be curved actually very clearly. We can make out, we cannot divide this into two halves along any, along all the planes. We can divide into only one plane. These flowers are called as zygomorphic flowers. Okay. If a flower cannot be divided into, so it is completely, it has no symmetry. We cannot divide it into two equal halves passing to the center. If it cannot be divided into two equal halves along any plane passing to the center, it is called as asymmetric. No symmetry. Asymmetric means there is no symmetry. Okay. If there is no symmetry, such flower is called as asymmetric flower. Example is Canna indica. Canna indica ante telusa? Metta tamara. You know, hibiscus mandara, datura umetta, pea beans, you know, peas and beans, that is BOTANY beans, etc. Cassia is tangedu, and canna is metta tamara. Okay, you can see this is metta tamara. Okay, so based on symmetry, that is the type of division. There are three types of flowers. Actinomorphic, that means it is active. For your memory, I'm telling you, for easy memorization, actinomorphic, it is active. That means it can be divided into two equal halves along any plane passing through the center, provided that passing through the center. Okay, it is called actinomorphic flower if it can be divided into two halves along only one plane passing through the center, along only one plane, as in this. This is called as zygomorphic flower if it cannot be divided into two halves along any plane passing through the center. It is called as asymmetric flowers. And based on different types of flowers, based on the merosity. Merosity means number of floral leaves. Number of floral leaves, that represents the merosity of a flower. If based on the number of floral leaves in each whorl, number of floral leaves in each whorl, I mean to say. Okay, it is called, there are three types of flowers. They are trimerous flower. If the floral leaves are three, or tri means three. If the floral leaves means again calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. If the floral leaves in a flower are in threes or multiples of three, such flower is described as trimerous. Usually, trimerous flowers are characteristic features of members of monocotyledonous families. Okay, trimerous flowers is a characteristic feature usually of monocots. And tetramerous and pentamerous flowers we see in dicot families, dicot plants. Okay, trimerous flowers we usually see in monocot plants, and tetramerous and pentamerous we find in dicotyledonous plants. And it is all generalization. It is not definite again. Okay, so number of flowers, if the number of flowers in each floral leaf are three or multiples of three, the flower is described as trimerous flower. If the number of floral leaves are four or multiples of four, we call them as tetramerous. Four multiples of four, 4, 8, 12, 16, like that. Three and multiples of three sepals or six sepals, and so on. See, you can see in this flower, trimerous, we can see there are three sepals, 1, 2, 3, alternating with the petals. You can see small sepal arising between the petals. These are sepals. Three sepals, we can see three petals, we can see three stamens, and also we'll usually see gynoecium will be tricarpellary. Gynoecium also will be tricarpellary. We usually don't see the gynoecium as the flower blooms out. We can see usually gynoecium will be located inside the flower. So we'll see only when we open the flower, we usually cannot see gynoecium outside. So if the floral leaves are three or multiples of three, the condition of flower is described as trimerous. If the number of floral leaves in each whorl are four, like this, you can see four or multiples of four petals, 4 stamens, and we can see carpels also, 2 in each, 8 we can see in each one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are all called as tetramerous. 3 or multiples of 3, 4 or multiples of 4, 5 or multiples of 5. Tri, tetra, penta is the number of floral leaves in each whorl of the flower are 5 or multiples of 5. Such a condition is described as a pentamerous condition. We can see in this flower, we can see there are 5 petals. We can see 5 petals very clearly, and the sepals also, and likewise androecium and gynoecium also will be in 3. 5s are multiples of 5, penta 5, try 3, tetra 4, try 3, tetra 4, penta 5. There is no confusion. Very clear it is. The word itself is telling you all what will be the number of floral leaves. You all are familiar with the terms tri, tetra and penta. Okay. So this is different types of flowers based on the number of floral leaves, and different types of flowers based on position of gynoecium. That means we describe flower with respect to gynoecium. Flower is described in respect to gynoecium. So what is the position of gynoecium and what is the position of the other floral leaves? There are 3 types of flowers. They are hypogynous flowers, perigynous flowers, and epigynous flowers. These are 3 types of flowers based on position of gynoecium. So hypogynous, hypo means below. Hypo means below. Students, please don't get confused. Hypo means below. Below means gynoecium is not below. Flower is below. That means all other floral parts will be below the level of gynoecium. So hypogynous. Flower is hypogynous. Gynoecium is superior. సో ఫ్లవర్ హైపోగైనస్ అంటే ఏంటి చూడండి, యూ కెన్ సీ ఫ్లవర్ hypogynous అంటే except gynoecium, all the floral parts, that is sepals, petals and androecium, are lying below the position of the gynoecium. So it is called as hypogynous flower. Is description of flower. మరి ఓవరీ ఎలా ఉంది? ఇది సుపీరియర్. ఓవరీ పైన ఉంది కదా, ఓవరీ ఈజ్ సుపీరియర్. ఇన్ హైపోగైనస్ flower is hypogynous, ovary will be superior. In hypogynous condition, flower is hypogynous, but ovary will be superior. Often I see students writing hypogynous inferior ovary రాస్తారు. సో hypogynous and hypo అంటే మళ్ళీ లోపల అని gynoecium లోపల పెట్టేస్తారు. No, flower is hypogynous, ovary is superior. Keep this in mind. Flower is hypogynous. Hypogynous condition ఏంటి? Type of flower condition అది. Okay, flower is hypogynous, ovary is superior. All parts of the flower develop from below the level of the gynoecium. And in perigynous flower, along with the gynoecium, not equal level. Okay, so we can see this. The thalamus is cup-shaped. Different floral leaves get arranged on the rim of this cup, along with the level of the gynoecium. So perigynous condition. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఓవరీ ఏమైంది? ఇన్ఫీరియర్ కాదు, superior కాదు. Ovary is neither inside nor completely outside. So the ovary becomes half superior. We can call it as half superior or half inferior. Both are the same. So thalamus in perigynous condition, thalamus is cup-shaped. Floral parts will develop on the rim of the thalamus. Okay, on this rim of the thalamus, along with the level of the gynoecium. More or less, level of gynoecium and floral parts will be the same. So it is perigynous condition. We see them in plum, rose, peach, etc. Okay, and epigynous, epi అంటే epi, gynoecium పైన అంటే floral parts are above the gynoecium. So gynoecium ఏమవుతుంది? ఆటోమేటిక్ గా it goes below. So gynoecium becomes inferior. Okay, flower is epigynous, gynoecium becomes inferior. So all floral parts, see, gynoecium will be present in the cup-shaped in the thalamus, which will enclose the ovary. Gynoecium encloses the ovary. Thalamus encloses the gynoecium. That's the ovary of the gynoecium. And all floral parts, sepals, petals, androecium, develop above the level of the ovary. Okay, this is called epigynous condition. Flower is epigynous, above the level of gynoecium, and gynoecium is inferior. So where is the gynoecium now? It went inside. So it is inferior. In hypogynous condition, gynoecium is superior. In epigynous condition, gynoecium is inferior. Very important question for 4 marks. Often it is asked. So this time, as your syllabus is reduced to 30% to 70%, you all concentrate on the syllabus which is present and on the important questions which are stressed on. So very important 4 marks question. Okay, different types of flowers based on the position of gynoecium or with respect to the gynoecium అని అడుగుతారు. Okay, 3 types: hypogynous condition, perigynous and epigynous. Important, you have to remember, keep it in mind. Gynoecium is superior, hypogynous, gynoecium is inferior, epigynous and gynoecium will be half superior or half inferior. Perigynous condition. These are different types of flowers with respect to position of gynoecium. Then the detailed description of the different parts of the flower. Okay, first we come with the outermost whorl of the flower. The outermost whorl of the flower consists of calyx, that is petals, sepals. Okay, calyx is sepals. Usually they are green in color. Their function is to protect the flower in bud condition before the flower blooms out. Once the flower is developed inside and it is ready for reproduction, flower usually opens up. Okay, till then, flower is protected inside the sepals. So sepals protect the flower when it is developing. Okay, when it is in bud condition. When the flowers open once they are mature. Flowers open in order to open the pollen grains for pollination and receive the stamens from the flowers. In order to receive stamens, stigma also will be exposed in order to liberate or disperse the pollen grains. All the flowers open up for pollination. It is all seen in flowers which open. Okay, different types of flowers based on the opening of also is there. As it is not the subject, not dealing with it. Actually, cleistogamous flowers and chasmogamous flowers. Flowers which open are called as chasmogamous flowers. There are flowers which do not open. They are called as cleistogamous flowers. Cleisto, they don't open. Okay, example, groundnut. We'll see, groundnut flower is inside. It never opens. So, anyway, that is not the subject. Okay, calyx. Calyx is the outermost whorl of the flower. Whorl of the flower. It consists of green leaf-like appendages called sepals, which give protection to the flower in bud condition. Okay, there are 2 types of flowers. Okay, based on the condition of the sepals. They are gamosepalous. Flower is said to be gamosepalous when the sepals are fused. If the sepals are fused, flower is described as gamosepalous. If sepals are free, it is described as polysepalous. Okay, if the sepals of flower are fused, the condition is described as gamosepalous, as we see in Datura. You can see this. The sepals are fused here. And if the sepals are free, we call the condition as polysepalous. Okay, we can see the sepals are all free. Polysepalous condition and fused sepals, gamosepalous condition. We see gamosepalous condition in Datura and polysepalous condition we see in hibiscus and rose. We can see very clearly over here. The sepals are all free and sepals are fused. And corolla. The inner whorl to calyx is corolla, which comprises of brightly colored, differently shaped, with different fragrance. We see different shapes. We see in orchids. We see the petals have different shape. They mimic birds. They mimic some of the animals also. And all these is meant for pollinating. That is attracting insects or animals for pollination. Okay, all the purpose of petals is attracting the insects or birds or whatever is the means for pollination. And different types of flowers are based on the corolla, that is the fusion of the or unfusion of the petals are their gamopetalous and polypetalous condition. If the petals in a flower are fused, the flower is said to be gamopetalous. In this you see, they fuse to form tube-like corolla. The flower is tube-like. Corolla is tube-like. These are called tubular petals. Tube-like. And here we can see the shape of the funnel very clearly. This is funnel-shaped. Gamma petalous tube. We call it as gamma petalous tubular corolla and gamma petalous funnel-shaped corolla. Fused tubular, fused funnel shaped. Okay, and we see petals free also. This is polypetalous condition. Petals are free. There is no fusion. Petals are free. If the petals are fused, they form gamma petalous, fused tubular, long tube like tubular corolla, and long fused funnel like corolla. Okay, it is based on the shape. We call it as tubular corolla, funnel like corolla, bell shaped corolla. There are different types. Okay, all there are many more also, but all the description is not here included in your syllabus. So let us learn whatever is included. Okay, gamma petalous and polypetalous condition. It is description of again flower. They're describing flower. Flower is gamma petalous or polypetalous, tubular corolla, funnel shaped corolla, etc. And these sepals and petals get arranged in a particular way in the flower. This mode of arrangement of the sepals and petals in a flower is described as estivation. It is described as estivation. Very important 4 marks question. Okay, the mode of arrangement of the sepals and petals in a floral bud is described as estivation. There are different types of estivation. They are valvate estivation. Here in this, all the margins are arranged on one plane. See, all the floral leaves are arranged on one plane with small gaps in between them. There is no overlapping. Such type of corolla or calyx, such type of floral leaves are described as valvate. Such type of estivation is described as valvate estivation. The floral leaves are arranged on one margin with small gaps. It is called valvate estivation. We see in calotropis. Calotropis is gilledu. And in some, we'll see the calyx and corolla are arranged with one margin out and one margin in. All the floral leaves will have one margin out, one margin in, one margin out, one margin in, one margin out, one margin in. So we'll see all the floral leaves will have one margin in and one margin out. So they all look twisted. They all get twisted. You see, this type of arrangement is called as twisted arrangement. That is, estivation is described as twisted estivation because all the perianth lobes are with one margin in and one margin out. And imbricate estivation is also overlapping but in a particular fashion. Okay, imbricate estivation is if the overlapping is from outside to inside, that from the posterior end to the anterior end, it is described as vexillum or descendingly imbricate estivation. It is this imbricate or vexillary is characteristic feature of members of Fabaceae, Papilionaceae or Fabaceae. For your class for your syllabus, Fabaceae is included, and imbricate or vexillary. Imbricate, special type in imbricate is vexillary. Imbricate, two types of type. One is overlapping from anterior to posterior end. That is called ascending imbricate. From posterior to anterior, descendingly imbricate. This type of estivation is a special type of estivation. In this, there will be, in vexillary type, there will be one posterior petal. You see this petal, which is very big and prominent. This petal is called as standard petal, which overlaps all the other petals which are present inside. Okay, this is the outermost petal called vexillum. This is also called as vexillum or standard petal. This overlaps the two petals on lateral sides. It overlaps the two wing petals. These two are wing petals. These two petals are wing petals. The posterior most petal, which overlaps everything, overlaps the two lateral petals. These lateral petals are called as wing petals. These lateral petals in turn overlap the innermost petals which are fused to form the keel petals. They are the innermost petals called as keel petals. They will be fused. Here, this is the standard petal, which is free, overlaps two lateral petals. They in turn, these two lateral petals in turn are overlapping two keel petals, which fuse to form keel petals. And inside these keel petals, there will be androecium and gynoecium. This type of special estivation is seen in members of Fabaceae. Papilionaceous corolla అంటారు దీని అనడమే. This is Papilionaceous corolla, that is seen in members of Papilionaceae, or for you it is Fabaceae. Okay. Then see, you can see this is special arrangement. Standard petal in a vexillum. Andukane this type of situation is called vexillary. It is the outermost petal, two lateral petals and keel petals. Inside these keel petals, there will be androecium and gynoecium, and opening of flower in this type of situation. Opening of flower in this is called as piston mechanism. Flower, the opening will be in piston mechanism, because in this the insect gets actually pollination is by insect anemophilus. Insects get attracted because of the standard petal. They come and alight on the wing petals, andukane wing petals. So when the insect is on the wing petals, keel petals get pressed and they open. Once they open, the androecium, the stamens get opened up, exposed, and they brush the pollen on the insect. And this insect, when it visits another flower, it helps in pollination. So pollination, the opening of flower is by piston mechanism. Okay, it is characteristic feature of Fabaceae members. And this is vexillary. And apart from this, quinconchal, though it is not there, overlapping is in a typical way, is in a different way, not in definite fashion. You see quinconchal. Here, this type of situation, there will be two outermost petals, two petals were towards inside, two innermost, two petals which have both margins out. This is one and this is one, both margins outside. And these two petals will have both margins inside. You see, this is with both margins inside, and this is the one petal which will have one margin in and one margin out, which is described as quinconchal. Quinconchal is not there for your syllabus. You just, as the picture is given, I am explaining it fine. So estivation for 4 marks, valvate, twisted and imbricate. Valvate estivation, there will be perianth lobe will be arranged on one margin with small gaps. There will be no overlapping. In twisted estivation, all the floral leaves will have with one margin in and one margin out in a twisted fashion. So it is called twisted estivation. And imbricate, there is a particular way of overlapping. In that, vexillary, outermost standard petal which overlaps the two lateral petals, and in turn it overlaps, the two lateral petal will overlap two fused keel petals inside, which will have androecium and gynoecium inside them. This is estivation. And the next third one is gynoecium. We have finished with calyx, corolla, and it is androecium. Sorry, it is androecium, that is the male reproductive structure. Androecium is a collective term which is used to describe all the stamens, the whole male reproductive units, which are called, each one is called as a stamen. Okay, the different units in androecium are called stamens. Okay, all the stamens, though it is sounding singular, androecium is a collective term used to describe the stamens. So stamens are the units. So each stamen has two parts. It has got one stalk with which it is attached to the flower. Okay, called the stalk of the stamen is called as filament. The stalk of the stamen is called as filament, which is attached to the flower, with which the stamen gets attached to the flower. The filament will attach the stamen to the flower, and the head of the stamen is called as anther. Anther consists of pollen sacs. Pollen sacs contain pollen grains. Pollen grains will carry the male gametes to the flower for pollination. Pollen grains are liberated in order to for pollination, and the pollen grains will fall on the stigma. Once on the stigma, pollen grain will liberate the male gametes. So that pollen grain bearing pollen sacs will be present in the anther. Okay, and once they are mature, the anther wall will break open and liberate the pollen grains. And the sterile stamen, there are stamens which will not produce pollen grains. There are stamens which do not produce pollen grains. Such sterile stamens are called as staminodes. If the stamen do not produce pollen grains, they are described as staminodes. And stamen may get attached to the corolla. And if the stamen gets attached to the corolla, it is described as epipetalous. It is described as epipetalous. It is getting stamen getting attached to the petals. The condition is described as a epipetalous condition. We see in Datura, you can see the stamen getting attached to the petals. And if in the beginning we have discussed that there is no a difference between calyx and corolla. Then we call it as perianthlopes. If in such a condition, if the stamen get attached to perianthlopes, they are described as epiphyllous condition. Stamens are called as epiphyllous. Stamens are described as epiphyllous. In case there is no difference between calyx and corolla if they are not distinct. If calyx and corolla are clear and stamen is attached to the petals, the condition is called as epipetalous. If they are not distinct, they are described as epiphyllous, as we see in lily. And these stamens, the number of stamens may be 1, 2, or many. Okay, and the fusion of the stamens is called as adelphi. Okay, these stamens which are present may be fused. They may be fused or they may be free. If they are fused, they are described as adelphi. They are called as adelphi. The fusion of stamens is called as adelphi. And if all the stamens in the flower are fused to form one bundle, it is described as, the condition is called as monadelphous. The condition of the stamens. Stamens are monadelphous antarappudu. Okay. Okay. It is called mona. Mona ante single. Monadelphous. All the stamens in a flower fused to form one bundle. We see in hibiscus. We can see monadelphous condition in hibiscus. And if the stamens in a flower fuse to form two bundles, if the stamens in a flower fuse to form two bundles, this is called as diadelphous condition. We see in P. In P, there will be 10 stamens. Out of this 10, 9 stamen will fuse to form one bundle and the 10th stamen will be free. It is called as, so how many bundles are formed? 2. This condition is described as diadelphous. Di ante 2, adelphous. Mono ante single, adelphous. Single bundle. Diadelphous, 2 bundles. And polyadelphous, many, more than 2. If the stamens in a flower fuse to form more than 2 bundles, such a condition is described as polyadelphous. Example of polyadelphous condition we see in citrus. And if there is no fusion of stamens, they are called as polyandrous. If there is no fusion, all the stamens are free. That is called as polyandrous condition. Okay, only if there is fusion, it is called adelphi. Fusion of, again, 4 marks question. Adelphi. What is adelphi? The different types of adelphi in flowers. Okay, we have to write monadelphous, diadelphous, and polyadelphous condition. And if the stamens are free, it is polyandrous. The stamens are called as polyandrous. And sometimes we see stamens with different lengths of filament. The size of the filament will be different. And we see in salvia and brassica. Okay, we are only studying the nature. There is no fixed, like it is not described a name undadu. Okay, we are just studying. In that, these are general, but there will be some specifications also. That is why we see stamens with different lengths of filaments in salvia and brassica. And let us study about the innermost wall of the flower, that is gynoecium, the female reproductive part of the flower. The gynoecium represents the female reproductive part of the flower, and the different units in gynoecium are called as carpels or pistils. We call it as carpel or pistil. It has three different parts. That is the ovary, the swollen base of the carpel is called ovary. The long tube like structure of the carpel is called as style, and the sticky receptive top of it, the head of it, is called as stigma. Ovary, style, and stigma. Okay, the ovary is a swollen base which will bear ovules inside. Okay, and the style is a long tube. Actually, during pollination, the pollen grains will fall on the stigma, and soon as the pollen grains fall on the stigma, they germinate, produce pollen tube. The pollen tube runs all along the length of the style and reach the ovary and the ovules inside the ovary, which actually bear the egg. Okay, so this is the stigma which receives the pollen grains. Usually it will be sticky because pollen grains should germinate. They have to stay on the stigma for some time. And this is the style which carries the pollen tube, and this is the ovary which has ovules inside. And different types of ovaries. See, in the gynoecium, in this, the carpels may be, number of carpels may be one, two, or many. If the carpels are free, they are not fused, it is called as, the condition is described as apocarpous condition. If the carpels in the ovary are fused, this is called as syncarpous condition. Okay, if they are free, if the different carpels which are present in the flower are free, it is called as apocarpous condition. And if they are all fused, we describe it as a syncarpous condition. And we just now we have discussed that ovary contains ovules inside. Ovary has ovules inside them. So the mode of arrangement of the ovules inside the ovary is called placentation. Why placentation? Because ovules get attached to the ovary with the help of the cushion-like structure called placenta. So based on the way placenta is arranged, the ovules get attached. So this type of arrangement is called as placentation. Very important question again, 4 marks question. Very important 4 marks question. Placentation. The mode of arrangement of ovules in the ovary is called placentation. And what is placenta? Placenta is the cushion-like structure, which is the placenta, which will fix the ovule, which will get attach the ovule to the ovary wall. Okay, placenta helps in attachment of the ovule to the ovary wall, or the ovule get attached to the ovary wall with the help at the placenta. So, however is the placenta arranged, so will be the ovules arranged. So, the arrangement of ovules in the ovary is called placentation. Based on the placentation, there are different types of gynoecium. There are the different types of ovules described. They are marginal placentation. Marginal, the name. See, all these will have, you concentrate on the name. The name itself will describe the way of arrangement. Margin. The ovules get attached to the ridge-like placenta. This is the ridge-like placenta. Ridge-like placenta along the margin. Ekkadundi placenta anta? Along the margin of the fruit wall. ఇక్కడ దీన్ని ఏమంటారు? ఈ ఫ్రూట్ ని పాడ్స్ అంటారు. చిక్కుడు, బీన్స్ లో చూసే ఫ్రూట్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, లాంగ్ ఫ్రూట్స్, వాటిని ఏమంటారు? దే ఆర్ కాల్డ్ as pods. So the ovules get attached to the margin of the fruit wall. Okay, along on the ridge. This, as they are getting attached to the margin, the placentation is described as marginal placentation. You can very clearly visualize. మీకు పిక్చర్ వచ్చేస్తుంది కళ్ళలోకి. పీస్, బీన్స్, చిక్కుడు కానీ బఠానీ కానీ ఇమాజిన్ చేసుకుంటే మీరు రాసేస్తారు ఓవ్యూల్స్ ఎట్లా అరేంజ్ చేస్తున్నాయో. ఓకే, ఆల్ ద థింగ్ ఈజ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు విజువలైజ్, ఇమాజిన్ చేసుకోవాలి. పిక్చర్ చూసుకొని కళ్ళకి యూ హ్యావ్ టు, యాజ్ ఇట్ విల్ బి ఈజియర్ ఓన్లీ. This is the reason why you are all given all this. So this is marginal placentation. Axial placentation. Axis. Axis is at the center. Okay, this is the axis. The ovule get arranged around the axis in a multilocular ovary. Multilocular enti? This each part in the ovary is called a locule. Okay, ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి ఇక్కడ? 3 ఉన్నాయి ఇక్కడ. 3, it may be 3, it may be 4, it may be 10, it may be more also. So in a multilocular ovary, where are the ovules getting attached? Around the center, and the axis. This is the axis. So as they are getting arranged around the axis, it forms the axial placentation. We see them in lemon, lime, lemon, orange, etc. All fruits. ఒకసారి ఆరెంజ్ కట్ చేసి విజువలైజ్ చేసుకోండి, కనబడుతుంది మీకు. యాక్సైల్ ప్లాసెంటేషన్ అంటే ఎలా ఉంటుంది? అరౌండ్ ద యాక్సిస్. ఈచ్ అతనాలు ఉంటాయి కదా, ఈచ్ వన్ ఇస్ అ లాక్యూల్. ఈచ్ వన్ ఇన్ అన్ ఆరెంజ్ ఇస్ అ లాక్యూల్. Okay, so where are the wheels getting attached? They are getting arranged around the center of that in a multilocular ovary. In parietal ante outer, peripheral anardham, periphery ante outside. Okay, in parietal placentation you can see the ovules are getting attached at the peripheral side, towards the periphery. In a bilocular ante ఇది bilocular కాదు, actual గా becomes bilocular because of formation of false septa. It becomes bilocular, two chamber, that is bilocular because of formation of false septa. It is actually unilocular. See, they are getting attached towards the periphery, అందుకే parietal. Parietal అంటే peripheral side. Example, mustard, argemone, is cucumber also is an example. Khira. And free central placentation. సేమ్ యాక్సైల్ లాగే ఫ్రీ సెంట్రల్. సెంటర్ లో ఫ్రీ అంటే యాక్సైల్ ఏంటి? మల్టీలాక్యులర్ ఓవరీ కదా. సో దేర్ ఇస్ నో ఓన్లీ సింగిల్ యూనిలాక్యులర్ ఓవరీ అరౌండ్ ద యాక్సిస్ ఇన్ సెప్టా, ఇన్ అన్ ఓవరీ వితౌట్ సెప్టా. ఇక్కడ మల్టీలాక్యులర్ ఎందుకైంది? సెప్టా ఉంటది కాబట్టి ఇది సెప్టా. దేర్ ఇస్ సెప్టా. సో ఓవ్యూల్స్ గెటింగ్ అటాచ్డ్ అరౌండ్ ద సెంటర్ ఇన్ అ మల్టీలాక్యులర్ ఓవరీ. ఇది ఫ్రీ సెంటర్ లో ఫ్రీగా ఉన్నట్టు. సో ఇన్ ఫ్రీ సెంట్రల్ ప్రెసెంటేషన్, ovules get attached around the central axis without a septa. Example, dancers. Free central, you on the names and you have to write the description based on the name of it. Okay, you have to. And base, single ovule getting attached to the placenta at the base of the ovary. Ante one single ovule getting attached at the base of the ovary. Example, marigold. Marigold ante banti. Okay, example, marigold. Very simple. Marginal placentation, ovules are getting attached along the margin of the pod. Axial placentation, around the axis in a multilocular ovary. Parietal placentation, on the peripheral side of the ovary. Free central placentation, towards the center in an unilocular, that is without septa, around the center in an undivided ovary, that is without septa, ovary without septa. Basal placentation, at the base of the ovary. Is it clear? At the base of the ovary. This is placentation. Very important question for your 4 marks. And all these till now, what we have seen different types of flowers. What did we see? What did we learn? We have seen actinomorphic and zygomorphic flowers. Differentiate between actinomorphic and zygomorphic flowers is an important 4 marks question again. Okay, actinomorphic flowers are flowers which can be divided into 2 equal halves along any plane passing through the center. Zygomorphic flowers are flowers which can be divided into 2 equal halves along any one vertical plane passing through the center, and asymmetric also. That is, where flowers cannot be divided into 2 equal halves along any plane passing through the center. These are different types of flowers based on the symmetry. It can be asked to describe actinomorphic and zygomorphic flowers, or describe different types of flowers based on their symmetry. So whatever, either way, it is an important 4 marks question. how do petals in pea plant are arranged? What is such type of arrangement? In this, just we have described. It is called vexillum. It is descendingly imbricate type of estuation. In this, it will have an outermost standard petal and which overlaps the two lateral petals called wing petals on either sides below it. Inside the wing petals or lateral petals, there are two petals which are fused to form keel petals, which will enclose the essential organs of the flower. It is a description of arrangement of petals in pea plant or Fabaceae members. Or this question can be asked in a different way. Describe the non-essential organs of Fabaceae members. Pollination here is called as piston mechanism. Opening is piston mechanism. And what is meant by epipetalous condition? Epipetalous condition, 2 marks question. If stamens are getting attached to the petals, it is called as epipetalous condition. Example, datura. If stamens get attached to the petals, it is called epipetalous condition. If stamens get attached to the perianth lobe anna sepals petals kuda perianthe. Kani, if they are not distinct, we particularly call them perianth. Appudu, that description is called as epiphyllous condition. We see in lily. Epipetalous condition we see in datura. Define placentation, the mode of arrangement of the ovules in the ovary is called as placentation. What type of placentation we see in dianthus? Free central placentation. And differentiate between apocarpus and syncarpus ovary. If the carpels in a flower are fused, they form syncarpus ovary. And if the carpels are free, it is called as, the condition is described as apocarpus condition. 2 marks question. Arrangement of floral members in relation to their insertion on the thalamus. That is position of the gynoecium. Okay, that is hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous condition of the flowers based on the way they are arranged on the thalamus. If the flower is arranged above the level of the gynoecium, the gynoecium becomes inferior. It is called epigynous condition. If the flower is arranged below the level of the gynoecium becomes superior. It is described as hypogynous condition. If the floral parts are arranged along the level of the gynoecium, this condition is described as half inferior condition, and the flower is called as perigynous flower. Okay, and 4 types of placentation found in flowering plants. We have seen marginal placentation. The placenta is arranged along the margin of the fruit. This is marginal placentation. And if the placenta is arranged around the central axis in a multilocular ovary, it forms axial placentation. If the placenta are arranged towards the peripheral wall of the ovary, outer wall of the ovary, it forms parietal placentation. If the placenta are arranged around the center in an undivided ovary, that is unilocular ovary, and the free around the center, it forms free central placentation. And if a single ovule getting attached at the base of the ovary, it forms the basal placentation. With this, I feel my students have understood the topic well, and I end up my session thanking all the webinar team once again, Dr. Venugopal Reddy sir, Principal, Model School Veenavanka, and all the Manjari madam and everybody else. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Renuka Reddy garu. We are very happy that you have delivered one important question for the first year students, flower and its parts, its significance in the various aspects of its life cycle as well as morphological features. Earlier you delivered a lecture on the inflorescence also. This flower is a continuation of inflorescence actually. So we are very thankful to you. And we are thankful to additional director Sri Satyan Reddy garu, joint director Sri Rajiv garu, and host Manjari madam, and my fellow webinar team members. and all the botany webinar resource persons who are helping us in conducting the sessions. We would like to have few more sessions if physical classes won't start in the near future. But as far as the present information is concerned, from February 1st, physical classes will commence. But fingers are still crossed. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Renuka Madam Garu. And
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
thank you.
Teaching you all. Teaching to all
Thank
the
you.
students. Thank you, sir.
Manjari Madam, thank you.